This video isn't really meant to be like a bash on these skis or anything. You're saying that they're horrible skis, because they're very good skis and they're very good for what they're meant to do. But personally, these are my 3 reasons why I hate my Salomon QST 99s and why I will be selling them and buying a different pair of skis. First off, they're very good skis. They're very clearly designed to do one specific thing. That's kind of a harder charging, all mountain kind of more on-piste style ski, and they do that very, very well. They're designed for that. They do it very well. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to sell these and replace them with the Rocker Squared 100, which if you see some of the other videos on my channel, and I'll have the Rocker Squared 122 as my powder skis. I like how those ski much better. They're much more playful. They're poppy. They're kind of knifier. They're more smeary as a ski, and I just like the way they ski better. So I'm going to get the 100 version of those to kind of have as my all-day kind of ski, everyday ski, for when there's not new powder. Reason 1 why I don't like these skis is what I mentioned earlier, is they are not poppy and they do not like to jump. And off of big stuff, it's fine. Like off of bigger jumps or bigger drops, it's not so noticeable because you're not having to do much work. But small little side hits or small little hip jumps are kind of where they suffer a lot. You gotta really pop hard. And it feels weird. It feels like you're kind of popping too hard on these, and they just don't like to jump. And I guess that's just due to the kind of the flex of the way the ski's made. They're not meant to be super poppy. They're meant to be kind of more stiff and rigid. But me personally, I like to kind of jump around in small little jumps like that, just side hits and small things like that. And they don't really like to do that too much. Third isn't really more about the way they ski, but it's more kind of about the construction of the ski. And it's a similar problem on the Rocker 122s, but not nearly as noticeable, and that is the top sheet is very, very fragile and susceptible to damage. Again, if you're jumping around in the trees and stuff, doing jumps, if you kind of land weird or spinning, anything, the edges hit the other ski, it usually leaves a mark. There's little scratches on here, no actual damage, but just kind of scratches off the top layer of laminate on here. And that's kind of annoying. I mean, they're new skis, they should last a little bit longer. It's kind of, but then again, they're not meant to be super durable for doing things like that. So it's understandable why they do that. But it would be nice if they did. Okay, and the third reason why I don't like these skis and why I'm gonna sell them and get rid of them is because of the difference within the QST series. So this is the middle ski of the 5 QST skis. There's this is the 99. I think there's a 92 and an 85, something like that. I'm not sure about the smaller sizes. Then above it there's a 106 and a 118. And I didn't realize this until after kind of seeing people skiing on the 118s and the 106s. And that's that there's actually, with the 2 bigger skis, is a different rocker profile. There's much less camber and a much more pronounced rocker shape in the tip and tails. And also there's a different P-tex for them. There's this cool mountain design, where with the 3 narrower ones you're left with just black and the Salomon S, which kind of annoys me. the other ones are really cool. It's kind of, the 106s have orange and white, and the 118s have this gray and blue, and this cool mountain design, really similar to the one on the top sheets of all the skis. So that was a disappointment that I didn't really know about. But yeah, it kind of annoys me now because the 2 wider skis, which it makes sense for, but they're more of a free ride. Rocker profile has more rocker, a little bit less camber. They're kind of more, look like they're a little more surfy, a little more smeary of a ski. With these, you can tell they're obviously more of an all-mountain ski. There's a decent amount of rocker in the tip, a tiny bit in the tail, but probably 70% of the ski is cambered. Which I didn't know that. It's kind of partially my fault not looking into the skis, but I didn't know that. And I wish that it would be the same rocker profile more throughout the series of the skis, similar to the Rocker Squared. Obviously, the smaller the skis in the Rocker Squared, the less they have, but it's the same type of shape, just adapted to each waist width, which makes sense because then they will ski very similarly. Where these don't, there's a very clear definition. The 2 wider widths, you can tell, are definitely free ride, kind of big mountain skis, and these are more kind of all mountain, hard charging skis, which it makes sense, but to me personally, it's kind of annoying. So yeah, there's my 3 reasons why I hate the Salomon Q1599s personally, and why I will be selling them and buying the Rocker Square 100s instead to replace them. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this is by no means saying that these are horrible skis. They're actually very, very good skis, and when I'm using them for what they're made for, they're great for carving and groomers. They're ridiculous amounts of fun, and just kind of like on choppy snow, they're very good in the bumps. But I don't know, I thought they were gonna be more playful, and that's what I was looking for in kind of a more everyday kind of do-it-all ski, is to be a little more poppy and playful and surfy. Which I should have known getting these compared to the Rocker Square 100s. That these are kind of a more serious, kind of hard charging ski. They're not as playful. So to me personally, they weren't a great pick. They didn't really work out as being as good as I thought they would be. But they're designed very well, and they do what they're meant to very, very well. I just bought the wrong skis is what it comes down to. So I hope this was informational to everybody out there, and please like and subscribe. See you next time.